Thanks for tuning in. Josh Mastel here, founder of the Unentitled Project. We're an organization that helps sales-driven companies scale and grow their sales teams, get the most out of their sales teams. I'm really excited that there's such an interest in this topic about millennials in the workplace and the changing dynamic of millennials in the workplace. So thank you for your interest and for tuning in. I hope you join us on watching the webinar to get some more detailed information. But I really want to leave you with the top 6 takeaways from the webinar that we dig into about how you really get the most out of your teams, whether they're sales teams or not, how to get the most out of your teams, especially if they're really composed of millennials, of younger professionals in the world. I really want you to take these 6 takeaways to get the most out of that. So number 1, as we're digging through and you're running and managing a team, how to get the most out of these millennials, it's really important that you and your organization have a game plan for how you're going to hire right. So you need to be advertising and showing your opportunity at your organization and the position at your organization in a very attractive manner, because you need to attract the best talent out there. If you're not attracting the best talent out there, your competitors are. So you need to have a game plan of how you're going to attract that talent. And then secondly, how are you going to make sure that you're hiring the right people? There's a lot of errors that can be made when you're interviewing and hiring folks. To make sure that you're hiring the right people is super, super important. So number 1 is hire right. Number 2, you got to set crystal clear expectations, especially when you're interviewing and when you're hiring young people. When I was managing a team, it was really important to me that I have a world-class team and we're going to win. But if you're going to be a part of this team, even in the interview process, I would start talking about here's the expectations that you're going to live by if you want to be on this team. I kind of compare it to some of these really world-class NFL football teams in honor of football season right now, or some of the best college athletic teams. They have a high standard for if you're going to be a part of this team, you're probably going to win a championship. And you might make a lot of money here, but here's the expectation of how you're going to have to perform in order to be here, and that starts early. So set crystal clear expectations with your crew. Number 3, you got to develop world-class training and development. This is critically important because I think a perception sometimes, that I see out there a lot is managers that have been doing it for a long time. They look back and say, hey, well, when I was younger, fresh out of school, when I was new in my career, no one taught or trained me. I just was thrown to the wolves and I figured it out. I get that, and that may have happened, but there's also, in the webinar, we really dig into, there's something I call the exaggeration of change. For years and years and years, people have been looking to the generation behind them or younger people behind them and have been exaggerating how life was when they were that age. It just happens. It's human nature. Our parents have been telling us forever that they walked uphill in the snow both ways to and from school. So it's really important to really get rid of that mindset and understand that the more you can train and develop your people to be great, to achieve those expectations you put up on them, the better you're going to be and the more you're going to win. Number 4, it's really, really critical that you reward high performance. A caveat to that is, I think that's kind of an obvious one. The best people on your team should be rewarded, and it's important that we look at our top performers as really valuable to us. I see a lot of organizations start to lose their top performers, and they come to me and they ask, why? Josh, I'm losing my best people. What's going on? Here's usually what happens. It's usually not because you're not rewarding them. It's usually because you're allowing poor performance. So the best way for you to get rid of a top performer is to allow that bottom 20, 30, 40% of people who aren't performing at all, to allow them to continue to stay within your organization. It demotivates the best people because they feel like they're putting in extra work and they're carrying the weight for these people that aren't doing much work at all. So keep that in mind. Number 5, please, please, please develop systems of accountability. These young people, especially in this millennial generation, they've never been in the business world before. They've never been in the professional world before, or good organizations likely. So it's important to understand that their life up until now has been very, very different in terms of understanding what the real world is like. A good system of accountability with your line managers weekly checking in on these employees and making sure they're achieving their goals and learning how to set goals and teaching and training and developing and making sure those expectations are being hit is really, really important. So you can hire right and set crystal clear expectations and train those people all you want. But if you're not having them being held accountable through a good system, there's ultimately things are going to fall through the cracks and you're going to fail. Number 6, probably the most important, never stop asking why. I see a lot of organizations that are struggling, or maybe they have hit a plateau. They were doing well for a long time, but they just can't get over that hump to keep on growing. And a lot of times, if you really open the hood, you find that people are still doing the things they've always done. You're never going to get to where you want to go by doing the things that you've always done. And a lot of employee frustration and a lot of lack of growth can come from the fact that the high-level leadership isn't asking why enough, and they're allowing processes or procedures or strategy to be done just because it's the way it's always been done. So step back weekly, monthly, daily even, and ask, why are we doing that? Why are we hiring like that? Why do we have these expectations? Should we improve? Why is our training the way it is? Could it be better? Why are we not rewarding the high performers, or why are we letting these underperformers stay at our company? These are all good questions to always be asking. So I hope you tune in and check out the webinar. We dig into a little more depth about the millennial generation and some background to a lot of these things, but hopefully these 6 takeaways can help you and your organization out. Josh Mastel again, founder of the Unentitled Project. Thanks so much.